Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Microbiology Simplified. I'm again here with my another video of Parasitology lecture series, the lecture 6, that infective stage and habitat of protozoan parasite. This is again an important topic and several questions have been asked in NEET PG examinations related to it. So let's see that what are the various infective stages of protozoan parasites and what are their habitats, that whether they are residing inside the human host or outside the human host, and if they are residing inside the human host, so where are they residing, where they are living. So just as a this is a small video, so that if you want to just revise the infective stages and the habitat of protozoan parasite, you can just go through the video and you will be able to revise it very quickly. So just do it very quick. I'll not go into too much detail because I've already discussed about the various details of the morphological forms, the host, the mode of transmission. So I'll just discuss just a few topics related to that morphological forms, and then we'll complete the video. Okay, so just do it quickly. Let's start. So the amoebs, the infective or sort of pathogenic amoeb, the intestinal one is Entamoeba histolytica. So as I told, it is intestinal, so definitely the habitat will be intestine. So what it will be? Large intestine and small intestine. Let's see. So the infective stage, first of all, for Entamoeba histolytica is mature quadrinucleate cyst. So the only mature cyst which has got 4 nucleus. Normally the cyst of Entamoeba histolytica may contain 1 to 4 nucleus. 1 to 4 nucleus. Okay. But to become infective, it has to mature, and once it matures, the number of nucleus will become 4, that is quadrinucleate. And also, if you remember, the chromatoid bars and the glycogen mass will disappear. So it will be present only in the immature one, not in the mature one. And where it will reside inside the human body? The large intestine, cecum and colon. So in the examination, you may get a question that the patient is having pain in the right iliac fossa. So that indicates that the infection is of large intestine, especially the cecum and the colon. Okay, so that's why I told you that why it is important to know the habitat also. Okay, and the next amoeb, which is a free living amoeb, the infective form. Now see, in intestinal amoeb, the infective form is cyst, but now this is not an these free living amoeb does not cause intestinal disease. They causes diseases of CNS, okay, CNS infection, meningoencephalitis, okay, or encephalitis. So that is why now the infective stage is not cyst. Now the infective stage is the trophozoite because it is a motile stage. So to cause infection of CNS, the infective stage should be a motile stage. Okay, so that is why the trophozoite is the infective stage in case of Naegleria fowleri, in case of Acanthamoeba, in case of Balamuthia, because all of these three species which are free living amoeb causes infection of CNS. That is, the first one causes primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, whereas these two are known to cause granulomatous amoebic encephalitis. Okay. So because of that only, the infective stage will be trophozoite, not the cyst. Okay, because the infective stage has to be motile in this case because it has to reach the CNS, and also the habitat are not inside human bodies because as they are free living, so they normally found in the freshwater bodies. So humans usually get infection by swimming or by ingesting or inhaling the freshwater bodies like water of swimming pool or water of lake, pond, springs. Okay, so these are the habitat of these three free living amoebs. Okay, so now it is easy to remember that what are the habitats of free living amoebs and why the trophozoite are the infective stage. However, cyst can also enter through inhalation or through ingestion, but trophozoite are only the infective form. In case of Naegleria fowleri, if you remember, the trophozoite has again got two stages, amoeboid stage and flagellate stage. So flagellate stage is for transfer of the parasite from one water body to another water body. Okay, but to cause infection, which stage is the infective stage, is amoeboid and not the flagellate stage. And in Acanthamoeba and Balamuthia mentalis, there is no flagellate stage, so only the trophozoite stage or the amoeboid form of trophozoite stage causes the infection. So this is the image of mature quadrinucleate cyst of Entamoeba histolytica. This is the amoeboid stage of the Naegleria fowleri, and this is the trophozoite, the spine-like pseudopodia, if you see, of Acanthamoeba species. Then coming into the ciliate, that is the only ciliate, that Balantidium coli. The infective stage is cyst and the habitat is large intestine. So just if you want to remember, just remember that Balantidium coli, almost all the features are similar to Entamoeba histolytica except the morphological features of the cyst and trophozoite. In case of Entamoeba histolytica, the cysts are quadrinucleate. However, in case of Balantidium coli, the cysts are binucleate. One macronucleus and one micronucleus. Now coming into the infective stage of lumen-dwelling flagellates. So there are three important lumen-dwelling flagellates that are pathogenic to humans. The first one is Giardia duodenalis. In case of Giardia duodenalis, as again it is intestinal, so the infective stage will be cyst. Okay, the name itself suggests that it is intestinal pathogen. So the infective stage is cyst, and the common habitat is duodenum and jejunum, that is upper part of small intestine. The name itself duodenalis, so the commonest part is duodenum. Okay, and if you remember, the cyst of Giardia duodenalis is again quadrinucleate. However, in the immature state, you may found two nucleus, like in case of Entamoeba histolytica. Now, the another lumen-dwelling flagellate which resides in vaginal tract is Trichomonas vaginalis, and the another one is Entamoeba fragilis. But this doesn't reside in vaginal tract; it reside in large intestine. But if you remember, I told you during the lecture of the morphological forms, the second lecture, the trophozoite lecture, that Trichomonas vaginalis and Entamoeba fragilis do not have cyst stage. So they have got only one stage, and that stage is only the infective stage, that is trophozoite. Okay, and where they will reside in human body? Trichomonas vaginalis, the name itself suggests vaginalis, so it will reside in vagina. But in case of male, as they don't have vagina obviously, so they usually reside in the urethra. Okay, and Entamoeba fragilis resides in large intestine, that is cecum and colon. Okay, so now till now, including the amoeba and the lumen-dwelling flagellates, there are three parasites. Amoeba, ciliates and lumen-dwelling flagellates. There are three parasites which resides in large intestine. First one is Entamoeba histolytica, second is ciliate, and third is Entamoeba fragilis. And the Giardia duodenalis reside in small intestine, that is in the cyst. So are there any protozoan parasite which reside in small intestine? So let's just see. So before seeing that, just see that where the hemoflagellates reside and what are their infective stage. So Leishmania, if you remember, there are only two morphological forms, amastigote and promastigote. And among these two forms, promastigote are present in insect vector, and these are the infective stage. And the normal habitat are the reticuloendothelial system. Okay, reticuloendothelial system including liver, spleen, lung, macrophage, monocytes. So also we can say they can be present in macrophage, monocyte system. Okay, and this trypanosoma, the Trypanosoma brucei and Trypanosoma cruzi, if you remember the difference between Trypanosoma brucei and cruzi, that Trypanosoma cruzi contains an additional morphological form, that is amastigote forms, which is also known as Leishmanial form. However, the form which is present in insect vector is obviously the infective stage, and which stage is present in insect vector? If you remember, I told you two stages. One is epimastigote, one is metacyclic trypomastigote. So usually the trypomastigote from the human, when it is ingested by the insect vector, it converts into epimastigote and then transform into metacyclic trypomastigote. That's why it is called as metacyclic. Okay, in different cycle, the tripomestigote slightly changes its forms, and that is why it is called as metacyclic tripomestigote. And this metacyclic tripomestigote is the infective stage in both Trypanosoma species, that is Trypanosoma brucei and Trypanosoma cruzi. However, the habitat slightly different, that both are present in blood, but Trypanosoma brucei is present in connective tissue, whereas Trypanosoma cruzi is present in reticuloendothelial cells. Okay, connective tissue and reticuloendothelial cells and blood. Okay, so just remember this. The commonest site is brain. Okay. Now coming into the sporozoans, that is hematozoa and coccidia. So the infective stage of Plasmodium, again the infective stage should be present in the insect vector. So the infective stage which is present in the insect vector are the sporozoite, which is released from the oocyst, which is formed inside the insect vector. Okay. So both for Plasmodium and Babesia, the infective stage is the sporozoite released from the oocyst inside the insect vector, and the normal habitat in human for these two parasites are RBCs, okay, red blood cells. And in case of Toxoplasma, the infective stage, and in case of Cryptosporidium, Cystoisospora and Cyclospora, that is all the coccidia, the infective stage is oocyst. And these oocysts, if you remember, if you go through the morphological forms of protozoan parasites lecture, you will find that the oocysts are sporulated. That means it contains sporozoites. Okay, so these sporulated oocysts are the infective stage in case of coccidian parasites. However, in case of Toxoplasma, if you have gone through the previous lecture, I told that Toxoplasma can also be transmitted by ingestion of undercooked meat containing the tissue cyst. Okay, undercooked meat containing the tissue cyst. And the most common habitat of Toxoplasma in human is brain, followed by skeletal muscle and other organs. However, as I asked you that what are the protozoan parasite which can reside in small intestine apart from Giardia duodenalis, then the answer is the opportunistic coccidian parasite causing diarrhea, that is Cryptosporidium, Cystoisospora and Cyclospora. They reside in small intestine. Okay, they reside in small intestine. So small intestine, what are the protozoan parasite which reside in small intestine? Giardia duodenalis and this opportunistic coccidian parasite causing diarrhea, that is Cryptosporidium, Cystoisospora and Cyclospora. In large intestine, the amebes, ciliates and lumen-dwelling flagellate Dantimoeba fragilis, that is Antimoeba histolytica, Bantridium coli and Dantimoeba fragilis resides in the large intestine, that is cecum and colon. However, the hemoflagellate reside in basically in reticuloendothelial systems, and the Trypanosoma brucei can also reside in connective tissue, and the brain is the most common site. Okay. That is why they are known to cause sleeping sickness. Just you can correlate with the disease itself, that where they can reside or what is the habitat. So it is important to know the habitat, because on the basis of that you will be able to understand the disease pathogenicity. You will be able to remember it. You don't have to memorize all the things. You just make a concept. Just read everything with a flow. Then you will be able to understand the disease, or the method of diagnosis, and you will be able to answer the question, because nowadays the question is usually problem based. So you have to have a concept. You cannot just mug up everything and then go to the examination and will be able to answer everything. So just develop a concept. So my videos especially help you to develop a concept. I am not going to tell you that this is asked in this examination, this is asked in this examination, because I believe that every year the examination is new. 50 to 60% questions are new, or it is something derived from the previous year questions. So it is better to develop concept rather than just mugging up the questions asked in previous question. So develop a concept, try to understand the basic behind the disease, basic behind the pathogenesis, basic behind the life cycle, and then I believe that certainly you will be able to answer all the questions the examination asked. Okay, so all the best. Go through the videos, go through all the videos. I'll be making all the videos slowly on the protozoan parasites. So I'll complete maybe in the coming week, and then on the helminths, and then bacteriology, virology, mycology. I'll be making videos on all these topics. So definitely I believe it is going to help you if you go through all the videos properly and you'll properly spend time on them. So just stay with me, stay with my videos, wait for the videos. Hopefully this video will help you to crack the examination next year. So all the best. Take care. Bye bye.